So we played a lot of Kishla Skimmer when it came out. I believe this was an Aether Drift card, or it was Dragonstorm card. We played probably 5 leagues with Skimmer decks, and we never did worse than a 3-2. It was like weirdly like one of our highest win rate archetypes. These Sultai builds flew a little under the radar because I don't think we got a trophy. It was all 3-2s and 4-1s, but it was a pretty good shell. The idea is that Kishla Skimmer, alongside cards like Relic, cards like Unearth, cards like Oculus, cards like Graveyard Trespasser, Emperor of Bones, it's like I say, Second Frog, Tamiyo, all of these cards let you draw a card of Kishla Skimmer, and a 2-2 flyer that can draw a card a turn is pretty good. Now, because you're using cards like Frog and Relic to exile the graveyard, it's just kind of a perfect fit for Cosmogoyf. Same colors, and you're wanting to aggressively exile your graveyard to enable the Cosmogoyf. So in this deck, you've got the Relic, the Skimmer, Trespasser, and to a lesser extent, you've got stuff like Force of Negation to put stuff into exile. I guess it's only that. Thought about playing a Delve card, but I think this is enough enablers for the Cosmogoyf. Cosmogoyf was not super duper impressive, or I should say that Goyf was good in the Jund aggro deck with Phoenix. But I think that archetype is mostly like worse than the Boros Delirium deck we've been playing. It's mostly worse than Hollow One. Like it didn't seem like a great direction to go for that archetype necessarily, or I should say like that archetype is like the Jund aggro like Delirium builds are worse than like the Boros Delirium deck we've been playing. They're worse than Hollow One. So I think I want to try a deck that is very different archetypally, since we did like Cosmogoyf, and also one where you like in this deck you just exile your whole graveyard, don't care much about it. Sorin Zeranorb is my white whale. Well, you need to have like 10 lands, and then you lose to removal spell. All right, keeping up Snare for Frog against a Delta is always the priority. Oh, you cut the opponent's creatures. Can someone explain to a new player why Goyfs are so beloved? So I know this might sound wild, but when the card Tarmogoyf was first printed, it was like the best card in Modern, or not first printed, but when Modern was first a format, Tarmogoyf was like the best card in Modern. I think even like not even best creature, best card. It was like just unbelievably powerful and strong in the format. It was just bigger than everything else. The most removal was red. It just dodged it. It was a hell of a time. Yeah, good in Legacy too. That's true. Just good. What made it defining? That's my question. It was just the best threat in the format. It was just gigantic. It was hard to deal with. It killed your opponents really fast. Card quality was way lower. You know, Fatal Push didn't exist. There were not like really things that it was weak to for the most part. Besides like, you know, it was even like before Rest in Peace was printed for a while. You know, Rest in Peace came out, Return to Ravnica. So like, Graveyard Hate for it wasn't that premium either. Spike, would you be opposed to someone creating a YouTube channel that basically just explores my brews further? No, I don't see why it would be. I definitely can't explore all of them all the way because there's just too much to get to. So I'm going to try to blow up the Relic. So that's going to make my Goyf a 5/6, and then I'm going to get to... Get this 2 for 1, although I'm pretty flooded again. I'm only playing 22 lands, although there we go. That's kind of the best draw. Should I Surveil? It stops me from drawing a 1-mana spell, but I think Surveilling's fine. Definitely want another Goyf. Goyfs are popping off here. Not going to be very interested in trading. 6/7s and counting though. Didn't Mopal hit over 200 after the unban? Yeah, but accounting for inflation, Goyf is still much more expensive. Dude, the Esper players are always so horny to like wisp their own Witch Enchanter, even when they don't have another land. But I mean, maybe cutting off my card advantage engine was that important here. All right, so they Solitude my Skimmer, does grow the Goyf. So we could pop the Relic and kill something this turn. I think I'm going to probably save it for next turn. Maybe they're going to... No, they don't have Ephemerate in their hand. They would have Ephemerated the Solitude. Alright, we got a pair of 8/9s that will be a little bit bigger next turn. I guess I could just kill this maybe and go for the kill. Okay, definitely gonna snare that. Yeah, so next turn, if I just pop the Relic there, 10/9s, and then I can kill a blocker. That's our 10/11s. They only have 2 cards in their hand. Alright, so they are going to live, probably, unless I draw another removal spell. Did misclick the Swamp into play. Shouldn't be a big deal. We are pretty flooded, but probably going to win anyways. Play Murderous Cut, not an option. It's certainly an option. What would you... What card would you take out of the deck to play a Murderous Cut? Would you cut the Void card for it? You could. I'm interested in testing the new card. I think this is like an okay shell to do so in. But like, yeah, you could play like a Murderous Cut over one of them. We definitely play a good amount of Murderous Cut on this channel. Alright, Goyf looking pretty good that game. So I'm interested in the Deluge. I'm interested in the Consigns, or some number of Consigns. I'm interested in like one Thoughtseize. I want to go down a Trespasser. Probably like one Trespasser, 3 Consign is a good number. Maybe I'm a little creature light with this configuration though, because they have a lot of removal. Let's play one more. Yeah, let's do this. Tragic Trust and Sorcery feels bad. Yeah, maybe. Again, it's literally just a new removal spell that we can enable with Tamiyo and Relic. So I'm just putting in the deck to see how it plays more than anything else. 8-away to Gem Overlord trigger Skimmer. I would almost definitely play Rumble over Overlord if I wanted one of those effects. I don't think there's a lot of room. You certainly could though. ... It should be Murderous Cut 100%. Well, I think it should be the Void card 100%, so we can test the dang thing. You know, it's just, and I probably wouldn't play the second Murderous Cut either. But no, let's test the new card a little bit. Let's see if maybe it surprises. You know, that's what we do here. Pick your poison for Riddler. I could do that maybe. Sculler. It's not expected to get skulled here. Rumble doesn't trigger Skimmer, Cash Crypt does? Oh, interesting. I thought it did. Does Skimmer feel better than Ketra versus going to Esper route? Well, it's sure hard to go the Esper route with Cosmogoyf, which is the new card we're testing. Gonna consign this. Yeah, honestly, Pick Your Poison looking kind of good. They have a lot of flyers. They've got artifact creatures, enchantment creatures. Three cards in their hand. Okay, they keep a card on top. They tanked on this? Well, I guess I get really punished. Let's go to game 3. Yeah, let's bring the pick your poisons in. We'll cut the trajectories. I think I'm just gonna play all three, honestly. Yeah, the killing Riddler seems really nice. Like the card advantage on the Riddler is really scary, but if we can keep up with like our skimmers, or try to keep up with our skimmers, it might be okay. All right, not anything to fatal push turn one usually, so we'll surveil on turn one. Opponents keep 7 pretty quickly. Keep that on top. So if they play a tap land turn one or a white land only turn one, then I think I don't play the frog. Or sorry, I do play the frog, but I don't want to give my opponent the ability to fatal push my frog and then like play an overlord. I think I'm just too behind against that. So I can't fatal push this in response to the trigger. Also, of course, just making it to where they can't see my hand is a pretty big game. Okay, drawing another counterspell. Let's just hold it up this turn, then we can go frog counterspell next turn. Not gonna crack the fetch, I think. I might want Revolt on the Fatal Push. I don't have a third Surveil land. Casting the Frog is kind of bad if they have Fatal Push, but I think it's, at this point in the game, going to be kind of difficult to be really good against a Fatal Push. No, this isn't a free starter deck just because we don't have good lands to get. Like, you can only play free starter look at if you're getting like Cabal Coffers or Valakut or like Shifting Woodland, Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin, Urza Saga, Eldrazi Temple. Like you have to get good lands for free starter to be good in your deck. So they play Ophelia. They have 2 Overlords in their hand and another Black Source. Okay, they don't have another Black Source. That's really revealing. Am I more likely to want another green or another black? I think because I have a black card in my hand, I'm going to get another black. So I can play like push and frog next turn. So they're going to bounce my frog and attack? Excuse me. Oh, they're going to leave this back to chump. Okay. Well, always love to untap with a frog. Love to draw Kishla Skimmer here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast the Skimmer and then I'm just going to fly the frog. And then draw a card off the Skimmer. And then I might fatal push the Ophelia upkeep. Probably better to like let them plan their turn out before I fatal push. We're pretty online here. They play an untapped Godless Shrine, so probably hard casting a 5-drop? No, they're playing an Emperor of Bones. So I think I should probably just fatal push the Emperor of Bones and keep the counterspell up. And let's do this in the combat step in response to the trigger. This way, if my opponent has Ephemerate, they can't. If I go fatal push the Ephemerate, then they could activate the Emperor. But here, if I fatal push the Ephemerate, they're not going to be able to activate the Emperor this turn. Although, would I counterspell Ephemerate? Would I have to counterspell Ephemerate? I don't know. I'm gonna get to draw 3 cards. I think I don't have to counter this because the Overlord is getting exiled, so it's not like they have anything that's super crazy to get back. Like Wisp is not awful, Sculler is not awful, but it isn't demanding of a counterspell. Okay. I feel like they would have targeted the Emperor to like maybe force the block. I guess they obviously didn't. Not really anything we would want to counter. So maybe Bowmaster, which isn't the most common. So I think I'm gonna get my land here. So if my opponent chose to block, I would be pretty happy with that choice. I think I I think I might actually take the trade. Maybe this was a good attack. Although I'm going to get an extra card out of the skimmer here. But let's just attack with the frog. Probably discarding a Verdant Catacombs before damage. Very unlikely that my opponent blocks. It looks like they're thinking about blocking and adapting, which I would be pretty okay with. Yeah, usually people don't think this long and then decide not to make the block. Okay, so we discard a card, then we go to damage. So they must have another Ephemerate in their hand, right? If they're thinking. Might counterspell the second Ephemerate. We only really get punished if their last card is like a Fatal Push or another Ephemerate. Okay, instead they just adapt, which is what we were hoping happened. So let's go discard the Verdant Catacombs, then exile the 3 lands. So we could draw a card with the skimmer and see which card we want to discard after that. A Consign. Consign's kind of interesting. I'm a little bit worried to discard the Relic, though. Consign, yeah, I think it just has to be the Relic. We have the frog in play for the skimmer and future Goyfs. Do we fly frog to draw? Yeah. So we can know what best to discard. So they have an Ephemerate coming off of a rebound. If they hardcast a Solitude in response to the trigger, I could replicate Consign to counter the Solitude ETB and to counter the rebound, but that doesn't happen. I'm gonna not block here. So classic, no attacks, no blocks. Oh, interesting. Resetting the frog is good. I think I'm still not. I'm not gonna consign that trigger though. Think I'm okay just keeping my 2 extra cards a turn with counter magic up. Overlord is a punish. Why? I look at my hand. Like if they hardcast Solitude, they're not overloading or overlording if that's what you're talking about, and I would still have counterspell up. They do have a spell. Don't think I'm counterspelling Prismatic Ending. It's not that. It is Witch Enchanter. So that resolves. Hard to feel upset about that. Frog comes back. We untap and we draw. Another frog. So let's fly a frog. Draw a card. Draw another counterspell. Put them down to 10. Should be winning the race here. Keeping that to discard, I think. Is this Urza? And this is Urza's Tower. And this is Urza's Familiar, and I don't know what this is. Okay, very punished if they have another Ephemerate for not counting the Riddler. Also, I was thinking I could just consign the Felia return. Now it's so obvious I have a consign, though. Well, that's bad. And they got to draw 2. Yeah, I guess I got a bit greedy. I mean, it's hard to play around them having 2 Ephemerates in their hand, though. And they know I have this consign, basically. So I do think I have to consign this, discard the grave. Wouldn't hate to pick your poison. So I can only discard 3 cards to make my frog not big enough. Although I guess I can go... I'd have to discard the counterspell, which seems unideal. So I guess I'll just play this extra skimmer and hold up the counterspell for this turn. Do you think Consult the Start charts to be good in a Scepter deck? Yeah, for sure. I will definitely play Scepter, like Scepter, the Wilderness Rex Scepter deck again. Got 5 cards in their hand. wouldn't this be a good Snapcaster deck? I mean, we're main decking 4 relics, so no. But also, like, the card Snapcaster Mage is almost never good in your deck unless you're including Flame of Anor. It is incredibly, incredibly rare for the card Snapcaster Mage to be a good include in your deck unless you have Flame of Anor. I can't remember the last time I felt like that wasn't the case. There may be some like weird, obscure exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, that is the prerequisite is Flame. Come on, pick your poison. Is Bojuka Bog really bad? I don't like that it doesn't cast your Snapcaster or cast your Skimmer or your Counterspells. Okay, Solitude, Pitch, Flicker Wisp. We still get to draw 2 cards. We have 3 Pick Your Poisons we could draw into. No luck so far. I'm going to go ahead and pop this Relic, though. Makes Emperor and Overlord a bit worse, too. Okay. Do I want to play a second Frog here? Second Frog is bad if I draw a good card. I think I need to be able to discard it. I think I will play the Verdant Catacombs, actually. There's not much difference between discarding it and exiling except their power and toughness, which doesn't seem that relevant. So they have 3 cards in their hand. Punished. Seven life points over there. So flickering the Riddler is going to draw them 2 more cards. Is Rashaka's Bargain playable modern? It's like kind of okay. People way overvalue it. So I can attack with my Frog this turn. We haven't drawn a Goyf yet, and 32 cards. It would have 20 power. All right, I'm gonna attack. If they block with the Riddler, it's a little concerning. Yeah, pick your poison, not super good draw anymore. Although we might get a chump block off the Flicker Wisp, right? Yeah, so now pick your poison good again. So I think that we're likely enough to be able to cast the Counterspell that I want. I also think that they're likely enough to have another Thoughtseize in their hand that I want to cast the Frog. What if they block with both flyers? I don't know. They didn't seem to take that line, but maybe that was too risky of an attack then. They do have another Thoughtseize. Let's go ahead and not Counterspell it. I guess it's probably better to have 1 big Frog here. So, fine read. I'm not going to be doing anything else. I guess we'll just not have 6. So they have 2 cards in their hand. They're cracking their fetch. They get another basic plains. I think they have Ephemerate. So they should attack first if they have it. No, it's Solitude. It's another Wisp. Okay. So just the same thing as last turn. They Thoughtseize. And they Wisped. So 2 more cards coming. We're also gonna get 2 extra cards a turn here too. It's fun to be keeping up on the cards here. They're also down to 4 life. Oh no! As soon as I draw my Cosmogoyf, I have to discard it for 2 extra cards. My sweet 24 power Cosmogoyf. They dead if not Solitude. Well, I can't fly both frogs. Okay, they have an Ephemerate, which is targeting my big frog. Okay, so they're not dead, and then they can rebound the Ephemerate cycle. Okay, but we draw 2 bangers here. How do we feel that Do we feel like we're maybe overcommitting into a Wrath of the Skies? I think that's probably not something I can afford to play around this game. If you frog, draw relic, they flicker Riddler, Thoughtseize, patterns repeat. Yeah. All right, so 25 power Goyf. They have a rebounding ephemerate, which they'll probably just cycle the Riddler. So then they're going to have 4 cards in their hand. Fun match. Very fun match. They play a Flooded Strand pretty quick. Then they crack the Flooded Strand pretty quick. Okay, tapped. Overlord? Okay, Overlord. They have no creatures in their yard right now. They mill a Boggart Trawler and a Witch Enchanter, so neither of those are likely to be much help. They might choose to not put one of these in their hand if they have a Flicker effect so that they can draw 2 off the Riddler. Instead, they choose to put the Witch Enchanter into their hand. Does block my 24 power Cosmogoyf for a turn. Funny enough, they're at 2 life, so not a big difference between 2 power and 24 power in this spot. They're warping another Riddler, just drawing 1 card. Their hand is Witch Enchanter, 2 mystery cards. And they pass the turn. Quite a match. Definitely feels good to outvalue the Quantum Riddler stuff. We should have just countered the Riddler. I thought I was going to be able to ephemerate the consign the Felia return. But this feels good to outvalue all of that. I do think the Skimmer shell has been underrated, and Goyf does seem like an upgrade for it. So we've been getting flooded all day. I don't think that's a good enough reason to keep this 1-lander. All right, this hand's looking a bit better. Let's put back the second Fatal Push, I think. Jack and Sick, where's it from? This was from one of the Magic Cons. I don't remember which one. It was probably one of the Vegases. I didn't go to Vegas this year. I think it was last year. Kazar, thank you for the wedding gift. Thank you for the 26. All right, they put a card on top. They're playing Hedge Maze. Could be the Simic Ritual deck. It's been getting more popular. Nice Just Lounge. Congrats. They have a Subtlety in their hand. My bias tell me Neobrand. My gut always says Simic Guy. It could be Neobrand. Neobrand was really popular last week. Why Trajectory over Tragic Slip? We're testing the new cards, chatter! They pitched Curator of Mystery, so it's Living End. I do think I want a Frog, but I think I'm probably not casting it next turn. We're brewing on the Brew channel. What do you think? New set just came out. We're playing the new cards. This one gives -2/-2, so it doesn't just totally suck if you don't have the enabler. It's easier to enable than Morbid too, but you know why. Yeah, I agree. Subtlety's pretty good. Honestly, I'm a big fan of where Solitude is too. And Endurance, just Fury and Grief a little over the line. Over the line. Market 0. Can we get flared here, maybe? Yeah, love you too. But yeah, I mean, like compared to Tragic Slip though, like the Void is easier to enable than Revolt, and -2/-2 is much better than -1/-1 when it's non-enabled. Okay. So if they go for the Living End, we can still discard this Goyf. Am I the only person looking forward to next week's Lorwyn spoilers? I joke, or am I? Yeah, the spoiler like season has been so crazy. Like whoever is in charge of being like, yeah, let's have Spider-Man spoilers during Edge of Eternity release week. It's like they need to plan this stuff better. No exiled response. So I guess we should have definitely exiled in response. Since they're coming out way too fast. Yeah, and then like in the winter too, there's like usually a break that's longer. But for me, as you know, someone who does this for a living, it would be also more convenient if they spread them out more. I don't know if that's too much to ask for, but that's something I would like. Might cast like a Curator of Mysteries here. And then I could go like Exile, Relic, Hold Priority, Fatal Push maybe. No, they're casting Living End. Okay. So if I just click OK, then the Living End resolves. I mean, I think I'm supposed to graveyard the Goyf. I can Fatal Push like a Curator if that's what they have. Okay, I think the month-long spoiler is better than the week-long ones from a couple years ago. Pushbound Frog. Yeah, sorry, I guess that was better too, huh? All right, you want to be I need to leave up the Relic Pop. Also, I guess I also want to maybe just like if they have another Living End, because it seems likely they do. The way this one went, like having the Frog of the Yard ends up being pretty good. They can only spread them out so much. 6 sets a year is just one too many. Maybe I think they can spread them out more evenly though. Like sometimes it's like a month and a half, and sometimes it's like 2.5 months. But it's kind of nitpicky. But personally, like I'll take as many Magic sets as I can get. I really like new cards. Like the more sets ends up being really good for like specifically me, who is someone who how I engage with the game is standard sets coming to modern. So I get like 12 cards a set for the context of modern, which is really, really digestible. It's a really, really digestible amount for me. Certainly not ideal for everyone, I understand, but for me, I can't complain too much about the frequency of spoilers. Why didn't I pitch Spell Snare? Isn't it bad in this matchup? So you wanted it just in the graveyard? I mean, I have Force of Negation in my deck, which I think is just enough to leave it in my hand. Yeah, but I mean, maybe it was just better being in the graveyard. I think I probably do need to go for the push relic line here. It would be really nice if gotta sack the relic, hold priority. So we have revolt, now we push. We really want them to have a Force of Negation because we have second push. Okay, they don't. So the graveyards are exiled. My Goyf is 6/7. And I can push my Goyf to get it back in the graveyard. Let's not play the Tamiyo because I do think it's very likely that they Living End this turn. How'd revolt from the fetch? Oh, right. Sorry, I guess I was just too streamlined on that line, but it's still going to end up being the same, right? A generous End, a Surveil, another generous End, and a Living End, I assume. Hopefully they have the third Living End in their hand. I feel like that hasn't happened to me in so long that they just drew a Living End. So my 6/7 isn't exactly containing the 5/7s because they can send with everything. The food tokens also make it a little bit awkward. If I can get one more card in exile, then that does change a lot. I'm not playing on Earth because we're really in on 4 relics. Hear me out, one of Ketchamos. I really hate including a bunch of, like, 2 white lands in my deck for a single copy. I basically would never do that. So the chatter who suggested dumping the Spell Snare earlier would have been really paid off because this Goyf would have been 7 power. It's kind of tough to do in your Force of Negation deck, but would have certainly really paid off. They have 3 cards in their hand, 6 mana. Oh boy, have we considered Serum Powder. Oh boy, is that card suggested like non-stop. Everyone is so horny for Serum Powder in these builds. I think I'm not cracking the fetch. If I draw the Void card, I can kill a Generous End because of the Clue token. Draw another land. Yeah, also if I had Exile with Frog earlier, we could have played better for sure. Alright, dead on board. Let's go to game 2. Alright, so Consign's in. Force of Negation in. Snares out. Honestly, the Tragic Trajectory is just killing all the big stuff. Seems kind of nice, because you do have to be able to kill the big stuff. Although, push killing like Endurance at instant speed is good too. Do you think I want the Thoughtseize? I don't think I'm going to play the Deluge. Trespasser is kind of hard to tap out for. I might play like 2 push, 2 Trespasser. It is good though. Okay, we'll play 3-1, then 2 trajectories. Yeah, pushing your own stuff. Okay, I think that push your own frog and stuff. Let's do this. If I'd done that, we could have played that game a lot better. Took too much time not doing Magic this weekend, I guess. Yeah, we are really equipped against the living in plan with the counter spells and the forces. And it does feel like with the Goyfs and the frogs, it's going to be kind of tough for them, their like value creature plan to really get me. Maybe you know, I think I'm talking myself into like one more trajectory. Let's do another push. What did I do this weekend? I did a lot of game testing with my friends. I did a birthday party for another friend. Worked out every day. Finished a chapter for my book. I think that's it. Push your own stuff doesn't seem like a good plan to me. I mean, in response to a living in, like sometimes you go like pop relic and then just push your own thing and then you're the only guy with a creature, you know? It's almost like when you fatal push your psychic frog, it's almost like your fatal push is a 1 mana instant speed psychic frog against living end. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Have you ever considered putting Consign in the main deck? You almost cited it in every match. I'm pretty sure this is the first time. I guess we boarded in last one. I would not main deck it. You don't cite it in almost every match. I don't cite it in against the most popular deck in the format, Boros Midrange. I know that you blue players really hate losing to Eldrazi. Eldrazi is not that popular at the moment. It's just not a main deck consigned format. Yeah, I've been reading the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson. I haven't been reading a lot lately. Need to get back into it. Just been doing stuff, I guess. Points on a multi-6. Would you rather have Trespasser discard to Frog in case of them casting Living End? Would I rather... I mean, I that can happen sometimes. Would I rather do that than push? Situationally, for sure. I'm on Oathbringer. I definitely seen like a couple YouTube shorts of people going, Oathbringer is my favorite one. So far, if I'm going to be honest, it's my least favorite. I think it is just... I'm like 400 pages in, and it's just very, very slow. But I trust in my dear sweet Brandy Sandy to cook. I'm sure it's going to get there. All right, let's keep the frog on top. Yeah, I think Words of Radiance I liked over Wave Kings, I think. Although Wave Kings was also really, really good. I like them both a lot. I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it. Alright, so they get a fountain in the yard here. My friend who got me into the series always describes like the last 200 pages as the Brandy zone. Where he just goes so hard, and that's definitely been my experience so far. So the Tamiyo does enable the trajectory. I think I'm just gonna graveyard it. If they have an endurance here, it's like a little annoying. So I would discard. I guess I would just discard 1, 2, 3. Just keep double consign. The Sanderlanche, that's pretty good. Could I just... I don't think I want to keep just one Consign. I do think I'm going to exile these 3 cards from my yard. Oh, they're targeting themselves. Okay. Wait, no, they're targeting me. Magic Online, not the most intuitive interface. Yeah, I'm just going to discard my non-consign cards and then hop on this frog. Any of the lander token cards? There's that green-red card. I haven't built a deck for it yet. I definitely want to. What does Giving Flying do? It exiles 3 cards from my graveyard, so a future Cosmogoyf is bigger. It's pretty annoying. Sorry, I should have played around Dispute. If they have, Cascade or Dispute, we get God, I guess. That's to be exactly their last 2 cards. I was just thinking I wanted to be able to attack through another Endurance. Okay, they can't Cascade. Oh, yeah, they can't Cascade and Dispute now. Alright, so they got 1 card in their hand. Let me fly. Alright, don't see much reason to Fatal Push right now, but we can Fatal Push the Agent end of turn maybe. Could also maybe just fly the frog again and save the push for a Curator of Mysteries or Endurance or Subtlety. It seems probably a bit better. So let's see if they have a Force of Negation. Because they'll force this and then we'll just keep going. I'm okay with that exchange. Why eat your own Goyf over the Consign, just the Tamiyo? Yeah, okay, is there any reason? I guess for the living end, but that's true. But yeah, we have Tamiyo, but I guess we could get the other Consign back. We're very likely to exile everything, though, so it's probably not going to come back to bite us. We already did. Yeah, I guess it was better to leave the Goyf in the yard. Okay, nice draw. Yeah, I'm going to save this for something bigger. Does seem like they have something bigger. Do these decks run Orm's Chant on the board? They don't, because if they played Orm's Chant, then they would cascade into it. So the card they usually play is Mystical Dispute instead. So do it like this so there's not a Curator in the yard. Just like last time. Big boy. Although I guess tapping out for the Goyf could be a little awkward if they have double living in, but if they have double living in, then we could just like consign 1, Fatal Push our Goyf after. Although no, we just drew a blue card. Yeah, one time Doomwake got Spell Pierced out of living end, which of course has the same problem as Orm's Chant, and it was very funny. Of course, been looking pretty good. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and replicate. So I would need Revolt to win the game this turn. We don't need to do anything to the frog because they're going to chump the Goyf though. There's our Revolt. I think I just pass. Caleb left his stream on accident to go to his wedding, and honestly, it's just chilling there. That's funny. When I was first starting streaming, I think twice I accidentally left it going because like I didn't understand that when you raided someone, it didn't end your stream. I don't know if it ends your stream now, but it used to be you would raid somebody and then you had to click. I still do this because of my habit, I guess. But you had to click raid and then end stream. You could raid people while you're still live. And so there's like twice I would like go to lunch and I'd come back and they'll still like streaming into my living room. Happy wedding to Caleb. You know, Caleb and I have the same birthday and getting married the same year. Very fun. Right, I think I like our sideboard plan. Let's go to game 3. Is Ketchermo's Cosmogoyf super fake? No, I wouldn't say it's super fake. On the draw against Living End, I think I'm keeping Force Relic, Tamiyo. Probably leading on the Relic, actually, so I could go Relic Skimmer. Okay, nice. I wouldn't say it's super fake. So the thing is, obviously you have the Relic of Progenitus as a crossover enabler. I would not recommend playing 4-color so you can get Frog. Maybe you could play catch, maybe 4-color with Skimmer and Frog and everything, but your mana is going to be really painful, and painful mana in a Ketchermo's deck isn't exactly ideal. So there's that. Additionally, like I think you could build Esper and like the artifact. We had an artifact based Ketchermos build that could be good, where you have Urza Saga to get your relic with redundancy. Rain K would be funny. It would be funny, but you know, I wouldn't want him to be embarrassed. My wedding gift to him. Frenzo with the 49 months. Welcome back. Farm ad revenue during the wedding. So they cycle a curator in response. Right, we got Force of Negation up, got Relic to untap with, feeling pretty safe. They used to get to play Grief, and then you would hold Force of Negation up, and then they would just grief you, and then they would violent outburst with your upkeep with their own Force of Negation up, and you're like, oh boy, only 2 more years till they ban this card. He came back. Wait, is Caleb already married? Good turnaround time. So see if they have another Living Ender. We didn't draw any more interaction, but we do just have this Relic, of course. I might like Fatal Push my own Skimmer. It's probably not right. Okay. Let's Fatal Push that. I got the line this turn. Could have a flare, maybe. What am I listening to lately? I've been listening to a lot of Aloboi. Aloboi. There's a lot of like electronic music, and like his songs with lyrics are really, really good. My favorite of his is Late Summer Day, which is a song that just came out. He had like one really viral song that you may have heard. All right, so we'll play the frogs. We can discard these 2 if they do play another Living End, I guess. Although that could maybe be overcommitting into an Endurance. Oh, I listened to a lot of the Expedition 33 soundtrack, but you know, kind of done with that game for the time being. I want to go back and play New Game Plus after Esther finishes Cyberpunk. Do you feel Conqueror has been a good addition to Modern? Feels annoying to play against? Yeah, it's like, I think when a card like Conqueror is good, I think that's generally a net positive for the format, I'd say. Does this stream ever have music? We've got some intro music, and we've got the jingle that plays for subscribers that you can pay. You can subscribe to hear. But I think for the most part, no music is net positive. Like if you want to listen to music, you can listen to your own music, and if there's plenty of people who don't enjoy streams with music. I'm listening to Aloe Boy right now. I'm listening to Kim Trails by Aloe Boy. So they've already... Oh, sorry. They've living ended once. Yeah, only once. So I think I would just let this resolve, right? So they can't cycle anything else in response. Okay, they must have another living end in their hand also. But I get my frog back, and then I can Fatal Push the Curator and the Conqueror, and then we're just in good shape. Yeah, I do like Caleb's music too. I definitely personally do enjoy some streams of music, but I think it's just a net positive. And I definitely am self-aware enough to know that my mix of of like 2000s rap, musicals, and soundtracks is probably not gonna bring more viewers to the stream. I guess 2010. Spike, did you have an Asmo deck that reanimated Archon and ran Monument, found at a Gen Con, and since you are on it? Yeah. I think we've played very adjacent things. We've done the Goryo's build. I'm pretty sure we also did the Persist, but I didn't like it as much as the Goryo's build. Is my recollection. It can be hard to remember everything we do sometimes. You can look for it in the Mox field if you're trying to dig it up, I guess. So I do think that they're out of living ends, the way they cascaded like through 50 cards. I think one of their 3 cards in their hand is probably a living end. That being said, I don't think there's much reason to not keep up the Relic pop. It could they could have one more living end in like the bottom couple cards, and then we need the Relic pop up, and then follow up with a Graveyard Trespasser. Oh yeah, I have been listening to the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack. Wait, I'm at 5 life. When did that happen? What the heck? I guess I'm gonna be at. Oh, I still have my Swamp at the deck, right? Okay, looks like I do. So, I mean, if they play another Ardent Plea, I can still chump block with the Skimmer. I guess I chump block with the Skimmer anyways. I don't really see much reason not to. If I tried Lazatop Chancellor as an other discard payoff with Monument. No, I don't. The fact that you have to pay mana for it, it's kind of tough. Dead on Crack due to the plea. Oh yeah, we just block. So I guess I pop the Relic here. It's interesting they boarded in so many Clarion Conquerors against me. I wouldn't necessarily say it was the wrong choice, but I would say I'm a little surprised they chose to. Okay, good. I did draw another blocker here. Although I guess maybe the safest thing would be for me to discard Tamiyo to the frog after I attack. And then Graveyard Trespass it so that I'm not dead if they have like a second Otawara in their deck. Sometimes they do play second Otawara, which would be pretty tough to play around otherwise. So down to 5, I draw a card. Yeah, let's just go discard Tamiyo. Cast Graveyard Trespasser. I guess we are weak to another living end, but again, I think we could mostly rule out them having another living end in their deck. I guess we would lose to Subtlety there. Oh yeah, sorry, just eat the Conqueror. I don't know, I just don't, yeah. A lot of little mistakes today. What about second plea? I guess we're just dead to second plea. I would not have been if I had exiled this cast Tamiyo. Yeah, not really anything we can do about it now. Didn't think about second plea. So yeah, I guess was it better to just play like the thing Tamiyo loses to Otawara is the problem. But maybe that's not a problem because there's already an Otawara in play. But we could have also looked at the reveal to see if there was another Otawara. Yeah, sorry, we messed this up pretty bad. Tough match. Yeah, we could have also had the frog back. That's true. I just felt like we were safe, but we definitely weren't. Okay, so they don't have another Ardent Plea. If they do just have another Living In somehow, then we're cooked. I mostly don't think that that's very likely. It's also something we could have played around. The line was play Trespasser, eat Clarion, then play Tamiyo. I think the line was actually play Tamiyo, hold up Force of Negation. Because there's like one card in their deck that could be a Living In. We did win anyways. But the reality is though we got to see so many revealed cards from the Living In that we could see that this Mistrise Village is almost definitely taking the place of another Otawara, which means that we don't need to play around it, which means we could go Tamiyo Force up. So definitely not the easiest stuff ever. Can be playing better, but we are 2-0 this league. Okay, let's keep this on the play. Might mulligan on the draw. Yeah, Skimmer's always been, I think, kind of underrated. Big fan. Okay, both fetch lands are the same because we have our swamp. Not playing a forest. Opponent's on a 0-6. So, if I lead on turn 1 Saga, I usually really do not want my Mox Opal to get forced. They could just have a second one, obviously, but forcing this is pretty likely to mean that they're not going to be able to make a Saga token. Bloodbraid Marauder is not that good, unfortunately. We have tried to make it work a few times, but cascading into like a Mishra's Bauble ain't that good. There is a Glimpse of Tomorrow build that's like, so you get Delirium for that, and you get Delirium for shifting Woodland for the Omnisciences you're already playing for Glimpse. That can be okay. Not the biggest thing, of course. We played with Hemiosymbic Might. Don't know that one. Thank you for the 62 months. Hope you're doing well. Hemiosymbic Might. When this creature comes tapped, another target creature gets +X/+X, where X is this creature's power. I guess I don't see the vision on this one. I'm going to graveyard this. I really want to draw a Skimmer or a Frog. Don't know what they were thinking about so hard either. I'm actually going to target the Bauble because of Emery. Is Bloodchief's Thirst better than the removal spell you're playing? I don't know. It's a new removal spell, so I'm testing it out. You know, I don't even care if it is so much necessarily. I'm really interested in knowing how good this one is by testing it some. I don't necessarily think it's incredible in this build compared to like the mono black Eldrazi Rock deck. It does some things better than Bloodchief's Thirst. It does some things worse. But. Yeah, I don't really care. I just want to play it a few times so I can come to an understanding on it. They grab another Mox Opal. I think the Might wants to go a similar direction to Tifa Vines. Well, okay, I guess this is the problem, right? It's like, so if your plan is to buff this creature, and then use it to buff another creature, like to me this seems like worse than Dreadhorde Arcanist. Let's go to game 2. Dreadhorde Arcanist, where you you pump spell, flash back a pump spell, but Arcanist is more versatile because it can flash back cantrips, it can flash back removal spells too, and like I don't know. To me, that just like seems worse than just pumping just an infect creature, killing them. I'm not really seeing the vision. All right, so cut the Trespassers, cut these, and then there is some tension with the Ouphe and the relics. I don't think it's that big a deal. This Ouphe is so good against them. So they're on Spire Bluff Canal. So let's like if they're playing the one that like that one of the pain lands that you could break the ice. I think you could break the ice. All right, let's. I'm just gonna play the third relic over the Thoughtseize. I think I just need it for the Skimmer Frog enabling, and if I have Ouphe in play, that's gonna be not so bad. I think. Is it wild to drop Skimmers? It's wild to like think you can without like telling me what you're cutting, but I think it's tough. Yeah, trajectory not killing planeswalkers makes it worse than Thirst. I have liked Thirst when I played it, but I don't know. I just want to cast it some more and see how good it is. I think there's a good chance that it doesn't end up making the cut, but this is a big part of what testing season is about, is trying these kind of cards and seeing if they impress us. Trying to be curious. You too, Matthew. Good to see you. Okay, pretty good hand. We don't have a pick your poison for the saga. Okay, we have a pick your poison for the saga. I think I'm getting breeding pool. So they don't have a Thoughtcast in their hand. They have 5 cards. They don't have a Pinnacle Emissary. I guess I shouldn't have put that in all of my sideboards. All right, I need to draw my basic swamp. I need to draw it pretty quick. Funny enough, if they didn't have this, I guess one other thing that could have happened is I could have flipped the Tamiyo and then made a green mana to pick your poison, the Blood Moon. Do you get Blood Moon by Affinity? I've been playing Blood Moon in the side of all my Affinity builds because they're so low to the ground with the Box Opal. You just get to do this pretty often. It's like kind of your best playing against Wrath Disguise or some Wrath Disguise decks too. Okay, they're playing Kappa Cannoneer. We are 2-1, sadly. Finally a faster match, though. These two matches took forever. Okay, on the play. Let's bowl again. Keeping this. Though I don't know what to put back. The thing is, I need both frogs. I need one if one of them dies. So I guess I put back the Goyf. Maybe I can go back to Patchwork. War 2 is pretty good. War 2 is pretty good. Kind of has the same payoffs. The thing is, you just can't play infinite payoffs. Well, more affinity. Ooh, they're playing Synthesizer Lab Ship. Not one that I've played yet. I'm going to go ahead and kill this Ornithopter. It's pretty bad if they have another one. But this might stop them from making a Saga token. Or 2 Saga tokens, rather. Plus our mana is, kind of accounted for this turn. Nice, yeah, they just don't have another 0-drop. Love to draw this Cosmogoyf. A little bit worried about getting Metallic Rebuked, although they seem a little too F6'd to worry that much about it, I guess. So I want to crack my fetch now, actually, so that if they have a burn spell somehow, I can still draw my card off my Skimmer. I do think I'm interested in drawing another fetch land here, especially because it puts a card in the yard for Skimmer enabling, Cosmogoyf enabling. I might just go like crack fetch, discard frog, discard the card I draw, and then we get to play 2, 6, 7 Goyfs and draw 2 cards. Fatal Push on the Ornithopter super duper paid off this time. I have to get a green source off this Verdant Catacombs. Do not forget, get green source. Don't get swamped. Okay, now I gotta race this Kappa Cannoneer. And cool, they just kind of can comfortably enable this. It's a 4/4 flyer. It's nice, looking good. So if I now if I shock myself, I'm down to 11. This is 9 points of damage. I guess I can leave the Skimmer back to block, which is a little daunting. I do want to do this main phase because there's like a pretty solid chance that I'm just, if I draw a land, I'll just discard it for 1 more damage. I think we can discard a Snare for 1 more damage also. I guess we could see what we draw. Is there anything I could draw that I'm not... I'm not gonna play a second 6/7, probably not. Definitely not that. Alright, so they're at 15. They can make a Saga token to chump one of my Goyfs. My Goyfs will have 9 power next turn. So if I discard both cards, then this is 6 power flying. So 6 plus 9 is 15. Should be enough. Aether Spellbomb Thought Monitor is incredibly gross. The block cannon. No, I'll keep him back to block the lab ship. But the lab ship is also, sorry, it's not online. It's only making the 2/2s. I thought it was already the 4/4. So maybe I should have attacked with the Skimmer. I don't know that this how beatable this was though. Have I considered going back to Rakdos Anvil? I mean, that's what happened for me to play the Rotten Rakdos deck we played last week, and we've gone back, but it's not the same as it used to be. You could try to painstakingly piece together things you lost, or you can try to find something new and find something beautiful. Yeah, Basic Force just doesn't cast enough. Doesn't cast Frog, doesn't cast Counterspell. If you attack with Skimmer, they could construct a lab station, kill me. That's true. It's kind of hard to imagine though that play around my opponent playing this many artifacts this turn. Okay. So they can use this to bounce something on their turn because it has vigilance. But I can chump this turn. Oh wait. Does this get flying? Oh, it does get flying. They have lethal. Cool. I made the right play. I made the better play for the actual game. That doesn't mean it was the better play for the range of their hands, if that makes sense. We are dead though. Yeah, I think we haven't really been drawing our Collector Ouphes. I think we need to be mulliganing a lot more aggressively than we have been in this matchup. Maybe I keep it 1 force for Cranioplating. I think Biotech Specialist just goes really hard on Cat Oven. Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that card. I'm a little bit stuck on it. We'll figure it out. Cut relics. The thing is, you need the relics to enable Cosmogoyf and Frog. I think it's okay. Like if you have an Ouphe shutting off 1 relic and it's shutting off like 3 of their cards, 4 of their cards. Why no Consigns? Well, Consign's just not that good against them, right? Consign is mid against Urza Saga. It's good against Cranioplating. It's mid against Thought Monitor, and that's kind of like all it does. You know, maybe you could do something like... Maybe you would end up being able to do something like... consigning like an Aether Spellbomb, but it's just not very good against them. Kind of Snare. Oh, sorry, the Snares are super dead. For some reason, I just keep thinking they might be still playing Steel Cutter. But I think a lot of builds are just not playing Steel Cutter, which I'm still not emotionally ready for. But it does seem like a lot of people are just off of it. They really have Metallic Rebuke up? They must, right? So I think I'm going to catch the frog. Wow, Saga with turn 1 Rebuke up, really good. The good news is we can go pick your poison plus Counterspell next turn. Maybe they don't have another untapped mana. That can sometimes be an issue for them. Alright. Seems to be an issue for them. Yeah, Golgari didn't go well. I mean, the deck is super high variance, but it did not go very well. This is a Thoughtcast? Memory Guardian. I guess I'm counterspelling that. Yeah, maybe Memory Guardian's a card I've overlooked. It's one I haven't cast myself. I have seen other people play it a reasonable amount. It's one that I always feel like I have a very difficult time understanding how good or bad it is. We could flip the Tamiyo here, and what flipping Tamiyo does is it lets me pick your poison the Urza Saga next turn. I think that my opponent is a bit too likely to have something I need to counter this turn, so let's just hold up that and be able to crack a clue. If they draw an untapped land, it's a little bit worse, but we could just draw 2 cards if they leave up Saga token. Yeah, I think if it was good enough to counter last turn, it's good enough to counter this turn. They play a second Mox Opal, and they pass because they have another Rebuke. This was probably worse than just making a Saga token, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, they're not equipping the Shadow Spear, so I don't think we can really infer that their last card is anything besides another copy of Metallic Rebuke. We get to pick your poison now. Tamiyo gives 1 mana. Well, Tamiyo's not currently flipped. We had the option to flip it last turn, but Tamiyo can't minus the turn she flips. I think they just probably don't counter this. If they do, it's fine. If they Pithing Needle Misty, I don't really care. They just drew a new card, so if it's something crazy like a Kappa Cannoneer, we can complain about our bad luck, but we should be in pretty good shape. Everybody get your best complaints ready. Ban Skimmer with multiple PT winning land Moorland Haunt. Well, there's an almost better, strictly better Moorland Haunt that enters untapped and taps for black. Right, they do name Misty Rainforest. And this is also why when I Pithing Needle fetch lands, I don't like to like, if they don't crack the fetch, I don't like to name something else to be nice, because sometimes like it is just correct for you to not crack the fetch because you want to trade your fetch land for the Saga activation. All right, so let's leave our O3 back to block the 2/2. Keep up Counterspell / clue. Yeah, Needle can't name clues. Very common kitchen table play, not actually a legal option. Yeah, this does immediately come online. It is pretty annoying. I think I'm gonna Counterspell. A good sign that I am interested in counterspelling this at this point in this like very low resource game, by the way. Also, just kind of want to use my mana. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and play a second frog. Although I guess flip Tamiyo, play another Tamiyo's pretty juicy. Oh wait, I can still flip the Tamiyo though. Yeah, so I think that they changed the so there is a card called Blood, and then there are blood tokens. So I think there was a time where you could Pithing Needle blood token specifically, and I think they changed that because it was really dumb and unintuitive. All right, I think we do 2 Force of the draw. Hit Cranial Plating, Thoughtcast, the lab ship's all kind of okay. Spike is correct. Don't see that comment in chat very often. Let's fucking go. 3 Quantum Riddler, Esper Blink, top 8 challenge yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I mean, Quantum Riddler absolutely seems like it is shaping out to be a modern staple. Okay, I'm trying to bottom or graveyard this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and break the ice this. Well, okay, the problem is they're going to rebuke me. I don't think there's a lot I can really try to do about that right now. Okay, great. Then we can get Skimmer Relic going, hopefully. Skimmer 2 Relics, potentially. Fuck. Guess they only have 3 more cards. 4 more cards. No blue mana. Oh, the Mox Opal wasn't online. Okay. Skimmer does block the drones pretty well, actually. They have 3 cards in their hand. We have a Toxic Deluge in the deck. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna be able to have 2/2/2 flyers that stop this, and maybe they're gonna play this Kappa Cannoneer that I have no hope of defeating. Yeah, maybe we need to figure out a different sideboard plan. I mean, this is like our 3rd time playing against Affinity. We haven't drawn a Collector Ouphe against them once. Thoughts on Pinnacle and a Guide Shell, Pride Shell. I think it's such a trap. Like, you just need to play all artifacts in your Pinnacle Emissary Shell. Or mostly artifacts. Formerly Beef, currently an Inspiring Spike subscriber. Thank you for your 1-year resub. Let's graveyard this Delta. Could be Prowess. I haven't seen Prowess in a while, though. No, I think Creeping Corrosion's the best because it just it's kind of the only thing that deals with a Kappa Cannoneer on the board. Because if you recall, they can just replay the Cannoneer and then you lose. But yeah, this was last time we were playing a bunch of Skimmer. There was also a good amount of Prowess, and weirdly enough, just Kishla Skimmer can block Slickshot Show Off. PDE with 35 months. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for supporting the stream, too. I'm going to let their Surveil resolve, and I think I'm going to Force of Negation this. Does grow the Goyf also. Obviously, we get blown out by Lightning Bolt and Lava Dart and Mutagenic Growth, but if it's just okay, well, damn. Let's go. Opponent stunned. Wait, that card has text? Okay, so this turn we can go Graveyard Trespasser. I'm going to exile my Skimmer. And then next turn we can go maybe Skimmer and 3/4 Goyf after we exile another card from our yard, and we draw a card off the Skimmer too. What about Fade from History? Hits enchantments too, seems useful to the board. So yeah, I mean, I guess them just being left with a single bear isn't that relevant. Creeping Corrosion getting through the Welding Jar, it does matter. It's not that uncommon that they play Welding Jar. Well, shocked that they're main phasing this on the show off. Like, what I would have every time attacked with the Swift Spear so that I could. Yeah, so that I could eat the Trespasser. All right, so I'm down to 9. I'm gonna play my 2 creatures. I don't know what I'm doing with the Graveyard Trespasser though. I think the answer is try to get them off Delirium. Although 3/4 Goyf is way bigger. Okay, let's draw a card and 3/4 Goyf. I don't know if this is right. How about Hurkyl's Recall? I just said this, but like killing Kappa Cannoneer seems way more important. Instead of letting them just like redo all their affinity and then Kappa Cannoneer. Alright, so they're out of cards in hand. Obviously that draw is nuts. So just I think now we get them off Delirium. Yeah, no worries, Frenzo. So if I Fatal Push one of these, then I get to keep my Graveyard Trespasser, but this is Delirious again. I think keeping the Trespasser is right. I think it's okay that it's Delirious because I have Force of Negation up. You must think Creeping Corrosion has no regen clause. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, I thought it was the same as Shatterstorm. Okay, they surveilled Lava Dart into the graveyard. That doesn't seem to do anything. Since if they attack with or when they attack with the Channeler, I have the option to just chump. Like, I guess I don't have lethal in the backswing, do I? Because they get to chump with the Swift Sphere. That's okay. Wait, they're attacking with the... Okay, wait, they're going to kill my Goyf. And I have to block. So I get pretty punished for exiling their graveyard instead of mine. They have no cards in their hand. They do keep a card on top, though. They have 2 creatures in the yard, so... I could try to get them off Delirium by just exiling this from the yard. Let's see, if I do that, the problem is if they draw a Lightning Bolt and get Delirium, now I could just block. They bolt the Frog and then they get Delirium, then I die, so that means exiling a creature plays around that. Exiling a creature also plays around Mutagenic Growth plus get Delirium. Always really cool when they're top decking and they really need another spell and they just surveil the Lava Dart into the yard. You think they most likely have Bolt or EI on top? Yeah, I think so too. It could be Lava Dart, maybe. It is Iteration. Iteration into Bolt does kill me. So I mean, exiling this wouldn't. There's no way to keep them off Delirium though if that's what they have. So we need to dodge Bolt. Seeds of Innocence. Destroy all artifacts. They can't be regenerated. The controller of each of those artifacts gains life equal to its mana value. Is that legal in Modern? Because that is the best one. Did you see Paralysis playing 2 Murktide in the side now? I would love to hear what the idea behind that is. Where that's supposed to do anything. Is that a good plan against Boros? Seeds of Innocence. It's not legal. Okay. I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt no matter what, so we don't need to sweat that so much. I guess I didn't see what they exiled. I can't tell. I guess it must have been the Fiery Islet. Alright, there's no way to play around that. that I could see at least. Really thought we were gonna win that game. Tough. Okay, Pick Your Poison's very good against them. Hits Channeler, Show Off, and Steel Cutter. I am gonna play the 4th Graveyard Trespasser. Although I don't think it's fantastic against them. I think I'm gonna cut the Tamiyos. Play like 2 Force. I don't think I want the Deluge. I haven't liked my experience with that card in this matchup. I was dead to Dart too. I guess if I blocked Channeler or Swift Spear, was I dead to Dart? Yeah, I guess blocking Swift Spear makes me better against Dart. Urkel's Recalls got me a couple times for blue decks looking for an option against Affinity. They could have to redeploy. Yeah, the thing is they could redeploy really often, I think, with the current builds. Oh yeah, Dirt just killed Frog. Yeah, so the options are Creeping Corrosion versus the card that gives them a bear, a 2/2 bear, but theoretically makes your Enchantress matchup good. We should play Enchantress some point this week, but maybe we save the bear card until after I put Enchantress back in the metagame, because it doesn't really seem like oh, sorry, that you want to be playing just giving them a random bear when there's not really another matchup you want this in. The bear one kill Saga. Okay, let's play that one. Let's play that one. The turn we played Trespasser, exiled something in our yard to boost Future Goyf. We exiled a creature from our yard to boost Future Goyf. But yeah, I guess we could have targeted creature and creature. Get Overgrown Tomb here so that we can play Frog without shocking ourselves next turn. Just join Cosmogoyf with no evasion. I thought you said that's not good. It's not what I said. It was kind of reductive. I said that I'm thinking that Phoenix is the best option, but if you watched my video, I said that this is a way you can build it. You can build it in Necro Shell, and I was thinking the Phoenix build was the best. The issue is I think that the Phoenix build just archetypally is weaker than other options in the metagame, so I was a lot more interested in looking elsewhere to play with the card, but certainly was my take not as reductive as this not good. Okay, let's keep that on top. And then I think I'm going to discard Hedge Maze and then cycle it with the Relic. Keep this back for a show off, maybe? Don't really need to attack. Does art matter much to you when I play? It matters. I'm definitely not. This is definitely not an art appreciation stream, but I did really enjoy my art appreciation class in college. One of my few A's. I also got an A in physics my freshman year because my teacher had this really, really thick German accent, and like I had to listen so intently to everything he said so I could understand anything, and I ended up understanding everything. Or, well enough to get an A. I feel like you could play 2 Pick Your Poison in the main. I do think Pick Your Poison is good in the main. A bit easier to kill this. I appreciate this art. Excellent job, 8 points. It was more like learning the history and stuff. It was more art history, honestly. I did think it was going to be that, though. Maybe they have Violent Urge? Do have Violent Urge. They're targeting the Swift Spear, so, I mean, if I'm dead, I'm dead. I think they need to have a mutagenic growth for that to be the case, though. Can't cast second Goyf very easily. I think I'll just discard 1. So I'm down to 6. Maybe they have 2 bolts in their hand, but kind of a weird line they've taken here. So let's see what we're drawing off of this. Another copy of Relic. I'm going to just pop this. Ask you to sack an artifact. leave the frog back. So yeah, maybe they have 2 bolts, but I think we're doing pretty good here. All right, so they have 2 cards left in their hand. Right now, this is putting me to 4, which is a much, much higher life total than 3. I learned that in my math appreciation class. Got an F in that one. Sorry, I didn't need to give that flying right now. I think for some reason my brain computed this was in play. So bad if they have another show off, but irrelevant otherwise, really. So there's a channeler revealed. We have a relic to turn off the delirium. So I guess we go play skimmer, pop this. Pick your poison's not going to be live afterwards, so I don't think we need to leave it up, right? And let's attack with just the Goyf, I think. I'm not going to be able to fly this frog, but I can block and discard maybe. But I want the Goyf to be sending them to Pound Town next turn. They heat my skimmer. They have no cards in their hand. They do not have delirium. They must leave something back to block my Goyf. Sort of wish Cosmogoyf had a bit more for the cost, some sort of ability like Menace. I mean, it's about to be an 11 power creature, although I guess that's not a super relevant number on this board. But, you know, Goyfs also typically don't have... I think that's kind of the flavor of Goyf. They're big and they're large and they're in charge. Could have discarded Watery Grave to draw off Relic. No, that Skimmer only triggers once a turn, so it triggered off the Relic itself, right? Oh, right, because I thought it would, because that's how Catchermouse works, but it is templated differently, huh? Never mind. All right, so they can't attack. Good call out though. They have no cards in their hand. So we think just attack with the Goyf and then play Graveyard Trespasser. Very classic Swift Spirit chumping a Goyf. Very nostalgic. So we have, I guess we'll have 3 lethal creatures next turn. So almost definitely going to game 3. That Lightning Bolt is not enough, even if they hit Delirium. I guess they could go Lightning Bolt into Dart into Dart. All right, we're going through the motions here. Yeah, you could play a Murderous Cutter too. I think that'd be totally fine. Definitely an easy option. All right, I think I want the 3rd force on the draw. Maybe going down a Graveyard Trespasser. Maybe go down a Counterspell actually. Maybe one of each. Honestly, just like being forced to protect from like the bounce spell, forced to protect from Steel Cutter. Both seem like super important. Well, I'm not going to click the mulligan buttons on this one, so that leaves one option. My opponent didn't click the mulligan button either. They lead on a Steam Vents and a Swift Spear. Hoping to dodge Steel Cutter Bobble. Not a lot we can do about it, except top deck a Pick Your Poison. Seems like we have thus far. They might plot a Slick Shot here. They do plot a Slick Shot. Wait, why is Bristly Bill $50? I mean, I know was there like a YouTube short or like a Commander combo? usually the reason. All right, so can't counterspell that because we need to save this for the show off, which our opponent knows. It's good in standard. Okay. Didn't know that. So now we do have this Kishla Skimmer, which I could potentially try to use this to block. Have we seen the Crusher Bot, Legion Extruder, Cutter deck? No. I'll link it if you want to if you feel like sending it, or I'll take a look at it if you want to link it. All right, so they got a very creature-heavy draw this game. Might have been okay to pop the Relic there. I think I want to get this so I could draw Pick Your Poison. It's an interesting pickup. Probably playing the Breeding Pool untapped still, so I could pop the Relic to block the Channeler effectively and keep Snare for the show off. All right, so they put a card in their graveyard. I'm getting hit for 3 down to 5, hopefully. Hopefully not any more than that. I think I'm going to do a Lava Dart. I think this puts me to 1. And that puts me to much less than 1. Dang, 2-0 and a 2-3. That feels pretty bad. I think if we played Creeping Corrosion or that kind of effect in our sideboard, our win rate would have potentially gone up a lot because 2 of our losses were to Affinity. Although I think we would play the one that gives a bear instead. I think let's keep going. I think I want to try this one out. So we've played this archetype before. We've trophied with this archetype before. This is kind of a weird one. I call it mono